I learn tons when I post stuff like that.
Maybe I'll let you talk about that score, but I will tell you that that thing has been also helpful for me, and I think we've made the case. Like, you should use BrandGhost. You're about to watch one of a 3-part series between myself and Nick Cosentino, where we discuss why you should use BrandGhost. In part 2, it is how to use BrandGhost, and so that includes an app UI walkthrough, an overview of the feature set, and then topical guidance on some of the content that we've seen perform well. The third part is a behind the scenes of BrandGhost, which includes origin story, vision, as well as upcoming features you can expect, and we talk about the tech stack that BrandGhost is using. Regardless of which part of the series that you're currently on, you can check the YouTube video description for links to the other videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like for more tech career guidance, and now on to the show. Enjoy. I think we've made the case. Like, you should use BrandGhost. BrandGhost is awesome. What does that mean? How to use BrandGhost?
Sure.
So here, I am logged in. I think everyone should be able to see this left navigation pane. And so after you sign up, you log in. This is like the default view. You can see I really just have one text stream that posts 9:15 in the morning. And you can see some of the content. You can create a new one right here. I'm not actually going to create one. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. And then there's this import feature. Manually add new content as well. Text, image, video, which I haven't used yet. Image, which I should be using, but I also haven't used. But there's data from LinkedIn and from other folks that, surprise, surprise, if you post with an image on it, you get more views, you get more interaction.
Right.
I am curious about your recommendations around updating this. So my thought is I would touch on this once a month or once a quarter. In theory, you're right. You could set it up once and never touch it again. But in practice, what I've noticed is some of these posts are doing better than others. In fact, I think you messaged me one day about a particular post, and I read it, and I was like, that was a terrible joke. I should have never posted that.
I thought there was a bug and there wasn't, and then you happen to say, "Oh, my joke isn't so good."
Yes,
that's your joke. I'm not saying anything.
So you were not criticizing the post. The post was
That's right.
intrinsically so bad that it broke your system. Got it.
Hold on.
And so maybe on occasion you want to come purge, or purge lower performers, or what you might notice is that a certain topic set is getting higher engagement, which I've also noticed. As I said earlier, the emojis do well. And so maybe you want to come augment on occasion. But you have the flexibility to do that anytime this month or anytime this quarter, instead of, oh geez, I need to do it today and I don't have time today, which is the worst. That's another thing that I would highlight. Again, welcome if you push back on the monthly or quarterly thing. It's just, the reason that's my default bias, I think, is because I do my budget monthly and then I do quarterly planning, and it just feels like one of those kind of things.
Yep.
And then the other thing that's really cool is this score. And maybe I'll let you talk about that score. But I will tell you that that thing has been also helpful for me, and it seems suggestive of a recommended practice maybe. What do you think?
Well, and yeah, so your point about the monthly, quarterly, I think it's interesting because a couple of things. One is that the type of content, or your topic stream in this case, because that's the view that you're looking at, you might find that you're like, I have enough content in this topic stream that I can come back to this once a month or quarterly, whatever it happens to be. I have one that is for memes. So I am using the image posts. And so I will collect memes. And if I happen to see a good one, I will just save it, upload it to BrandGhost. So that one for me is not quarterly or whatever. In fact, when I was creating it, it started off weekly. So I said, once a week, I'm going to try to get 3 memes. And I made sure that was something I did. And then once I think I have 150 of them now. And if I post a meme Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I post them kind of like in that weekend time frame. I have 150 of them now. So that's 50 different weeks.
Yeah, that's a year.
So I have a year's worth of memes. And then I would say, like, John, what are the, like, do you think that you're going to remember the meme that I posted 50 weeks ago?
No.
Probably
and if I
right?
do, only because it was so spectacular.
Right. And you're going to say, I remember this one. This is a good one. And you're going to, you're going to see it. You're going to engage with it. So this is one of those things where now it's at the point, like, I haven't updated it in a while. Maybe I will go, once a quarter and go say, let me go, scan through, collect some pictures. Maybe I forgot to go add them to BrandGhost. But on the Evergreen score, basically only gets better the more content you add. and it's based on the posting frequency. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to post less frequently, the score will go up because it's not repeating as often. But we want to basically make it so that you don't have to think about what's performing well and what's not. That way you could go to your topic stream and we could say, by the way, John, I know you thought this joke was good. It's not performing well. But this other post over here, this one is absolutely killing it. Maybe you should be talking more either in this format about this topic, whatever it happens to be, but we'll try to use analytics plus AI to help suggest where you should be heading.
Awesome. Thanks for that foreshadowing. Maybe we'll say a bit more about the upcoming feature set later on. So while we're on this note about, hey, here's what BrandGhost does, here's how we recommend that you use it. I talked about kind of my flow when I come in here. What is that basically what you do as well, or do you have a different flow? So you drop in here at the calendar, and what is Nick doing?
Sure. Yeah. So my calendar is jam-packed because I use it across multiple things. So I have my dev leader personal brand, which is basically the basis for how BrandGhost like started getting built. I already mentioned this. So I will use content, or like the format of my content is like text. It's going to be so long form posts, short form posts. I have, if you follow me on like Twitter and stuff, you'll see every night for over like a year now, I've been posting a joke at 11 p.m. and they're always terrible jokes, but like people engage with them, right? So it's just something to kind of mix it in. My calendar is packed just for dev leader, but in the same account, I have BrandGhost. So we dog food it with BrandGhost as well. All of the content we post with BrandGhost, all of the content we post for BrandGhost is done by BrandGhost. That's a mouthful to say. So we're doing that. And then I just started another YouTube channel where I vlog in the car. I rant about software engineering, and I'm basically posting my YouTube links to that channel as another thing. So there's another topic stream for that. So I have many topic streams, almost to the point where it's breaking the calendar. So it's a good like thing for me where I'm like, hey, I got to do more performance optimization on my SQL queries. But yeah. So
great. Here I'm noticing Blue Sky and Threads, which are platforms that I touch uniquely through BrandGhost, where others I may touch in multiple ways, also through repurpose with the short form video. One of my questions is, we know that media performs differently across these channels, and also the features on these channels are different. So is there anything that BrandGhost does that's different? Let's see. One might be, breaking up a post. And I think I saw something about automatically putting a comment on a post.
Yeah.
So can you say, like, what are maybe a few of the other features that could be useful? Maybe not everyone wants them, but just highlighting a few of the things that BrandGhost does that we haven't dealt with.
Yeah, so a really good example is the post splitting feature you mentioned. So for me, when I think about my content creation, it starts in two spots. One is used to be 3. I haven't written a blog post in a very long time now, but used to be blog posts, video creation, or a LinkedIn post. So I need some type of long form written or a video to start with, is for how I think through content. The challenge is when we're trying to think about content going out across platforms is LinkedIn or Facebook. I think Facebook has the biggest amount of text that you can write. LinkedIn, I think, is 3,000 characters, so it's still pretty good. It's pretty beefy. But now you're like, okay, I'm going to go post that to Twitter. And I don't, say if you don't have a Twitter premium account, you're limited to that 280 character limit.
Right.
So now you're like, oh crap, like that really good post I wrote for LinkedIn, I can't put that out on Twitter. So we have the ability to automatically split posts and basically create like the classic like Twitter thread, where you'll do one post and then kind of chain them together. So we can do that on Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky. And that way, now you can take those long form awesome posts and just create threads of them automatically. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on if someone goes to you and says, okay, I'm sold on using BrandGhost, but I don't want to watch John's video. I don't want to watch John's video where he tells me about the kinds of content that could work. I want to hear from Nick about what he's recommending based on stuff that he's seen.
Sure. I think there's a nuance here that's worth mentioning, because I would say the thing that performs best is memes. But if I just stop there and you were saying, so, okay, so I just become a meme account, like the answer is you probably don't want that
Right.
unless genuinely you just want to be a meme account, and that's totally cool. Nothing wrong with it. But I think sometimes the metrics can be misleading. So I want to give you a bit of an example here. The memes are one example of, so when I post a meme, it will do at least 10x better across every single platform.
Wow.
It will do about 10x better. The exception is on like Blue Sky, Threads, and Twitter. If I post something that can be like a debatable topic, so like, hey, like, what's your favorite whatever, or do you prefer this or that? People will come and say like, I like this, and other people will say I like that. On those platforms, I find those are really good for getting discussion going. I learn tons when I post stuff like that because so many people have very strong opinions.
Yes.
But the reality is the metrics can be deceiving. And the last example I want to share as to why is I've been posting short form videos on LinkedIn for over a year every single day now. They are some of my worst performing posts in terms of metrics. At Microsoft, I have had people message me and say, "Hey, I happened to see that go up and I just wanted to tell you like that really resonated with me and I didn't think I needed to hear that, but I needed to." I have had a VP of engineering start a meeting by saying, "Oh, Nick Cosentino's on the call. Hey, everyone, you should go watch Nick's videos on LinkedIn," with like 50 people on the call, and then signed off the same meeting saying, "Remember, everyone, go check out Nick's LinkedIn videos." And the final point on that is that I would say that even for my current position, like when I was being sort of like interviewing for this position that I'm in now, because I switched teams at Microsoft, my manager and his manager had full visibility into my entire thought process about how I think about software engineering and management because of my content creation, and in particular, the videos that I put out online. So they're not interacting with them. They're not liking them, commenting. I can't see the impressions from them, but they're watching them.
Yeah. Let me say a thing or two about that. You're pointing at something really important, which is there's more to your social media post than just the views and the reactions and the comments. There is a quality quantity trade-off. And I agree with you that the memes do better, but we don't want to just be meme accounts. And so as a rough guess on the mix, you might go 50-50, or you could even cut it less than that. But let's just say that you're talking about trading off between like memes and non-memes. And you could just say 50-50. That's a fine mix. And I also do this with Laterally because I want to grow the audience, but then educate the audience. And so I do a mix of entertaining and educational content. So I agree with that. Generating referrals and then building your personal professional brand. That really is back to the reason that we're doing this social media post in the first place.
You could go on a platform and just like throw shade at things. You could get people really enraged about whatever topic. You might get a lot of eyes, but is that like you're neglecting the idea of brand at that point?
Yeah.
Like you want to factor in what is your brand.
So the idea that we are engagement baiting, it's sometimes called, where you might make an inflammatory comment. I like what you said more, which is that you used a question. And I'm trying to, on the other screen, scroll through Twitter quickly because I answered one of these questions that you asked.
Yeah. I asked them, and it's a topic stream, and I ask them every day. And I've had people call me out and say like, "Oh, you're just engagement farming," and I have told people, I said, go scroll through the comments and tell me that you didn't learn something about someone else's perspective. Like, I dare you.
So maybe I'll bring one of these on screen. An example of this other kind of post that we're talking about, where it's engagement bait in a good way because we're using questions which can be fuel to learning, And so I like this. Again, it doesn't need to be all your posts, but now you have three kinds of posts. You have memes, then you have questions, and then you have what did I do today? One thing that I really like about questions is that this is an underrated communication skill across your career. So using questions to influence and to invite conversation, which you understand the other person's perspective and you're able to synthesize up to a mutually agreed result. This is actually an underrated, really powerful technique. And it's another benefit of content creation is that you're improving your communication skill and teaching you something so that the person who is new to content creation might say, what do I teach or what do I present? I have an empty bank of knowledge on this topic. You can post questions. You can post questions. So you don't even, again, it reiterating that idea that you don't need to be a thought leader to create content. In fact, you can literally post questions. Maybe we'll do a quick segment here over the next 10 minutes talking about, I call this a segment for the geeks.